Pick the Nintendo Shack and pray. Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening says, yo.
Of the Nintendo
When she's holding the troublemaker, she's like, "Get away from me! I didn't sleep." And then as soon as we come back, she's like, "I've got my baby."
No. This is the only way for him to be settled. He wants attention. He wants to be held. If I don't do this, he's gonna be knocking shit off, and he's gonna be chewing on plastic.
You're in an abusive relationship with your cat. You need to lay down the law. But listen here, I run this house.
Yes.
Who's the alpha? Who's the alpha in this relationship? It's definitely Frisk. He's like, listen here.
Look at me.
I don't give a shit about this damn podcast.
I'm the captain now.
That is true. That's exactly what he thinks.
Wow.
And it's true.
I love our intro video.
Me too. You did a good job.
I cooked with that one. Yeah, I really. Every time I'm like, oh man, this is good.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice.
We're on episode 364 today. I said that last week, but Donnie was wrong, so it wasn't my fault. He just wrote it wrong.
It's hard to keep up after so many times.
It's an episode. Come on.
Yeah.
You know,
Will Wild Blue Switch 2.
I'm proud of that one.
Count at this point.
I'm proud of that one.
I don't even know what it means.
Well, you're about to learn. About to learn today.
Guys, I'm playing video games again.
Wow.
I know. That's big for me. I haven't done a Nintendo game yet, but I'm picking up controllers again.
Don't get too excited.
No, Donnie, you'll be happy though.
Uh-oh.
I am replaying
Ori.
The Last of Us.
I knew it was going to be that. I was going to say The Last of Us. Damn it.
How did you know it was going to be that?
I just had a feeling. I had when you said
around the corner.
When you said it's not Nintendo, my immediately hit my head. I quipped. I was like, Last of Us. Like I was gonna say it like a joke.
Wow. You should have said it.
I should have. I know. That's why I'm angry.
Gotta go with your instincts.
I know. I was like, damn it.
I bought that one. I know. I don't get mad. I bought the remake and The Last of Us 2.
Oh yeah, okay. Now I'm angry.
Why would you get mad?
Because he hates that game. That game ruined his life, and
it didn't murder his family.
It put a drought on his crops. It murdered his firstborn. It put a plague on his house.
It didn't do any of those things.
It just murdered his love for The Last of Us.
Have you ever heard me talk about this game, Rebecca? It doesn't sound like you have.
Sell all of his favorite Last of Us merchandise. It did do that.
Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. I did buy the limited edition Last of Us 2 PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 4 Pro, right? Mm-hmm. The console, which if you guys listen to us, like a year before that released, we did a spoiler cast or a Last of Us cast where I was like, listen, this is what I want. I want a console that's like minimalistic and it's Ellie's tattoo.
And it was exactly that.
And it was exactly like they were like, here, Donnie, here's the console you wanted. And then I played The Last of Us 2 and I was like, I got to get this shit out of my house.
Yes.
Like I can't look at this console ever.
The hurt.
Well, that's not what this is about. So we're not going to go there.
I think we should.
No, absolutely not. The season 2 of the show is coming out in April.
See, I knew it. I called it.
Yeah. This is why they do the shows.
I have seen all of 2, but I haven't played it myself, so I was gonna just jump right into 2. But then my friend convinced me that I gotta replay 1 because I gotta play the remake, the part 1. And I will admit,
no, you don't. Not at all.
That is the most unnecessary remake of all time.
That's what I'm saying. But listen,
it is.
I'm glad that I'm doing it because it's been a really long time since I played it. And when I did play it, it was like kind of like in segments over the course of like 2 years. And the game looks really damn good, guys. Like,
yes.
I'm surprised that my PC runs it. Like, they optimize the heck out of it.
You can play it on Steam Deck.
Yeah,
well,
you
that
can.
was the original
And it
plan.
plays really good.
I was going
It
to.
plays really good on Steam Deck.
But I wanted to use my my DualSense.
Hang on a second. XPS, there is no such thing as a hot take with this series. I've seen every take both ways on every polarized way. The only thing about this series that's true is that every take is a hot take with this series.
That is true. That is very accurate. And I like both of them. I like one better than 2, but I like 2. I think 2 is really good.
I like 2 from what I've seen. So that's what I'm playing right now. Then I hope that I can play the second one before the show comes out. Because I watch it with my mom. And yeah, I will, Delvin.
Just don't you can skip the first one. Like you played it already.
Well,
Bro,
it's not
chill.
long. It's not a long game. It's like 10 hours.
Are you gonna play Left Behind?
Yes, because I've never played that.
Oh, that is
See, that's
so
what you should
good.
play.
It's so good. Yeah, you should play that first.
You have to beat the campaign before you do it, I think.
No, you don't.
Well, I think they have it open in the remake. They have it
Yeah,
open from the start.
yeah, it's
Oh, do
open.
they?
You should
pick-
play it first
Yes.
Why? Like, I know it's a prequel, but like,
because reasons. Like you should play it first.
Yes,
well,
you should.
I didn't. So
I agree.
Whatever.
Well,
Well,
you should
you're playing
fix
it
it.
wrong.
You're not that far along. You can
Yeah,
fix this today.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Donnie.
We'll see.
And if I'm agreeing with Donnie,
Then
you know
I'm
something's up. You know he's right. That tells you it right away.
I wouldn't steer you wrong, Rebecca. Not with The Last of Us. That's real stuff.
You would tell me not to play the second game, and that's
I would
fair.
not. I've
No,
never
you
told that to
wouldn't.
anybody. Listen, my take on the second game has remained steadfast since the day I played it. I think it's an incredible video game. Amazing, actually. I think gameplay, it's one of the best video games I've ever played in my entire life.
You said that.
I just hate it. I just hate what they did with the characters and the story, and that's it. I have some issues with the actual, like... My main issues with that game are... I feel like Neil and the writing team like needed an editor. And I'm not going to give anything away because I would actually love for you to play it, and I'd love for you to come back and let me know what you think.
I will do that because I know the whole story, and I have seen quite a bit of the gameplay. But that's like the one thing that I don't know is like all the ins and outs of like the
It's
writing
not that
and, like,
it's-
the little parts and stuff.
It's not that it's too long. This game has like
I think it is. I think it's a little too long.
this game has like an epilogue. Like the game kind of ends and then like for very untold reasons just kind of keeps going. like without a whole lot of like in the story like it actually telling you. Like there's a reason. I'm not saying it's completely out of pocket. Like there is a reason they give you for it. It just doesn't feel like a good one. They're like, well, we just wanted to kind of give you this other ending too, kind of almost. I almost wonder if they were like caught between where they wanted to end it. And as
It is,
I've
like,
always
10
said,
hours longer than the first game, isn't it?
yeah, I've always thought that like I feel like they're caught between like a Last of Us 2 and a 3. I feel like there's a clear point where this is what Last of Us 2 should be, and then maybe the last third of that game should be saved for what Last of Us 3 could have been. And they just kind of roll it all into one game.
Yeah. I don't disagree in any of this. I think the game has a big pacing issue. There's parts of the game like, ugh.
I
Why do
agree.
they do this like this? And I'm like,
It's really weird. Not
and it
weird.
takes you out of it. Yeah. Weird is a good way to describe it.
Yeah,
It's
like
weird.
I don't know. You just bounce back and forth a lot.
Yes.
Like just a lot. And I have always wondered if I would feel different on that game if it was told differently.
I've always said it should have been told like Resident Evil 2, where you play like side A and side B.
Yeah, something like that. I honestly think if the other character was told to you like maybe not first, but like just mixed in earlier, sooner, perhaps in the first game at all, maybe I don't hate it as much. Maybe.
Okay.
Well,
yeah.
I will let you know. I'm working on the first game this week.
But Rebecca, I'm so excited for you to take that horse trot, to see that arrow, to walk that bridge, because there are some incredibly memorable moments about Last of Us 2. Yeah,
Very
I've
memorable.
told everybody. I
always
think the
knew I
game's
would.
incredible.
It was just like the right
I
time. This was
just
the right time.
hate it.
That's fine. That's fine.
You know, the funny part about that is when it happened, I played it early and trying to process all of those thoughts in like the day the game came out was extremely difficult to put into words. Like it almost took me like years of contemplating to really massage
It
and
took him
deliver.
years of therapy to get over it.
And I'm not alone. The thing that I love about that game, and I do love this about that game, I give Kyle a lot of credit. Kyle's always told us that like art should be challenging. And if you take that approach, if you believe that, there might not be a better example than The Last of Us 2, because for years, every day I open up Reddit. Like, I bet I could do it right now. I bet I could go to Reddit right now and go to the Last of Us page, and there's some thread that's like, I don't know why everybody I don't know, this like, it is the most divisive thing I've ever seen. You either love it or you, like, there's nobody's like, I played it was all right. That has never happened.
I appreciate that the conversation behind both of these games, part 1 and part 2, are vastly different. Like, people still have conversations about part 1 or how it ended, and interpretation of that, and was Joel right and things like that. That's still that argument still goes on.
The Last of Us is how morally what is this cat doing? Oh my god.
Whatever he wants.
Yes. Living his best life.
Morally gray it is. Like, there is no, like, everyone is the hero of their own story kind of thing. Like, there's no right or wrong. And I think that's hard for a lot of people to grapple with, because video games are supposed to be, or like not supposed to be, but like typically are, you know, the right and the wrong. You know, you're always the good guy, and you're always like, you know, trying to take down the evil, or, you know, bring an injustice to, you know.
I think Last of Us 2 moved video game storytelling, like it progressed it forward in a manner that honestly no game since has like really walked that path. But like before, I don't think we ever had a game that even tried. So I give them credit for that. I've got complaints, but I give them credit for that. I've long wondered and thought, even though at this moment I do not currently plan to watch the season 2 of The Last of Us show, but I've always wondered if in a TV format, I think I said this the day I played it, I wonder if that game could be told better. Like, the story of The Last of Us 2 probably makes more sense as a television show than a video game.
I think they're going to expand it. Like they did the first season pretty close to the game. Like, they really only changed the stuff with Bill. But I think
that was the best stuff.
Change and expand. Yeah.
That was the best. That was incredible.
So I'm surprised you're not going to watch it. Maybe you'll like the show better than you like the game.
Maybe I will. I think I'll have to wait. I think I need to hear like maybe some of the right things said before I give it a try. If it is so close to the game, I don't want to do that again. But if people are like, because they did this, the pacing's better, and I'm introduced the characters better, and maybe so. Maybe I'll give it a try. I'm sure I will one day.
We're talking a lot about this. I feel bad because it's not a Switch game. Maybe it'll be a Switch 2 game.
Hey, yeah, I was gonna say, just give it a minute. Give it a minute. It might.
you know, imagine if that was in like the Switch 2 trailer.
Well, we have a question about what's in the Switch 2 trailer, so we can hold that. But I could imagine it. I don't think so, and the reason why I don't think so, I'll save. But yeah, I mean, if you're telling me over the next 8 years does Last of Us show up on Switch 2, I think there's a good chance it might.
Yeah.
PlayStation doesn't seem to care too much about, you know, Switch as much as like Xbox. Like they put it on PC and all those handhelds and everything.
So true. Donnie, tell us what you've been playing this week. Delvin.
Sure. I'm still playing Donkey Kong 94. I started playing some of my cheap eShop games. I'm still buying those. Like every week, it seems like there's a great sale on the eShop. I just bought the Metro games, which I'm buying for like the 22nd time. I think I own them on literally every console I've ever had. But the bundle on the eShop was $2.99. So you get Metro, Last Light, and Redux for $2.99. That's some good stuff.
That's
So I
gold
took those.
points.
I took those for a spin, and the image quality on those are very nice. It's a nice game, which I knew to be the case. But like they make the jump to Switch 1 fairly well. If you're looking for like a mature, militaristic Call of Duty type shooter, that might be as good as you're gonna get on the Switch. I mean, I have to think about it, but like. We do have a lot of shooters, but not a lot of like militaristic type shooters. If you're wanting that sort of thing, we don't have a whole lot to choose from. So in that regard, it's pretty good. Like we got Crysis. You could do Crysis too. Crysis is pretty good on Switch.
Crisis runs on Switch.
Yep. So I'm dabbling with different eShop games. Rebecca, have you seen these bundle games? That like the 60-in-1 games pack, 25-in-1 games, and they're like a collection of mobile games.
Yes.
They just announced like another retail copy of that. It's like every year they add to it and release like a new cartridge. I think now they're up to like 101 or something. But the old one, like the 25-in-1 was on the eShop for 99 cents. And I was like, why the hell not?
Even if you don't play like 80% of the games, like there's still probably a couple fun ones in there that you can get a decent amount of enjoyment out of.
Yeah. So let me so I got one good and one bad. I'll start with the bad. I expected that the game would like put the icon on my Switch and then I would click into the game, and then when I'm in the game, like any other mini game, I would pick from a slew of 25 games or whatever.
It didn't give you
It put 25 icons on my Switch.
No!
It installed them as separate games.
No.
So now I have to go through and delete all the ones I don't want. Like, why are you all
God,
here?
So annoying.
But one of them is a kart racer, and they're all like little mobile hacks, but the kart racer's good. One of them's a golf game. It's called Quick Golf, and I'm embarrassed to tell you, like when I started it up, how long I played that. like I just kind of kept playing it. It's very like Worms Golf, but it has like some fun physics puzzles to where like kind of like the old Mario like arcade games, like you can go off the screen in one way and come back into the opposite side, and like they set up holes where you gotta like ricochet off of things and pop off the screen to come through the other side and stuff. It's kind of fun. Yeah, I mean for a buck, I've already gotten my money's worth just having this little golf game. So I've been going through this little eShop, like games. I've been checking out stuff that I bought in the past. And back when we were talking about all those cheap games and those freebie games that we got, I think I got a game, and I'm looking. My Switch is nowhere near me. I can't grab it. All right, so at some point in these sales or whatever, I got a game, and it's called Neck Break. I think Neck Breaker. I think it's Neck Break. Neck Break Switch. Yeah, Neck Break. Oh, I wonder how much it costs. Let me see how much. It's $2.99 right now. You can buy this game for $2.99. And I'm here to tell you, I wholly recommend it.
What kind of game is it?
It is
Oh, this looks awesome.
The visuals are incredible. Like 100%. It's one of my favorite styles I've seen in a video game on Switch, period. Like, period. It's worth that. Visuals
it's
alone.
wrestling.
It's not wrestling. What? No.
No. It's a first-person shooter.
So it reminds me of Neck
Neck
Break.
Break.
Oh,
Break.
okay. Neck Breaker.
It reminds me of Super Hot. It plays like Super Hot. Not in the mechanic that when you move, everything else moves. It's not like that. But just like the game, like what you're doing, you're walking forward. You have like this little level, and you're shooting at people, and they're shooting at you. There's melee, and if you get hit, you die. The game reminds me of like Hotline Miami, but if it was like first person. And there's like lots of like multipliers and like combos, and you can pick up different weapons, and there's like different runs that you can go on, but it's the synthy music. It's this incredible art style.
Very
like
cool
I wish more games did this. It's cyberpunk, but like grungy. Like grungy, gritty cyberpunk, like pixelated scan lines, CRT. It's great. And it's hard. It's tough. I will tell you that. And in that way, Like the whole little run, like die, repeat, run, die, repeat thing. Very different games. All of these are very different games. So just stay with me on vibes here. Ghost Runner, kind of. Like when I'm playing it, I feel like how I was when I was playing that game. Like that kind of addictive loop, like, shit, I got shot. Let's try it again. Like again, that Hotline Miami, like that sort of loop. It's like that in a completely different perspective. But like it's like if Hotline Miami was super hot, I guess, is kind of what I'm getting at.
Very like fast paced, able to jump right back into it. Like,
It's really it is a loop. You can keep going, but it's not nearly that fast. Like you have movement, but it's not nearly that fast. There's lots of like you pop pills and like you get into bullet time. Oh, it's very for a Nintendo game, it's a mature game for sure, but it's like very like you can shoot people in the nuts. You get extra points for like nut shots. And it encourages you to deal drugs. And like one of the guys tried to fight me, he called me a fucking pussy. He's like, you piece of shit. So like just know what you're getting into. Like it's there's like some of that Suda, anti-hero, anti-game stuff going on here too.
Looks a little like a Suda game.
Kinda. And it's like a lot of the same stuff that I really liked about Fashion Police Squad, with like this boomer shooter kind of flat 3D. I don't even know how to explain it. Like where all the characters are like almost like paper characters, like they're flat, but you're in this 3D world kind of sort of thing. It's got that, like that's there too. It's just a really interesting game. I was playing it last night while I was fighting the tornado response. And like in between work and stuff. And I was playing it yesterday. And I want to play it more this afternoon, but I got it on one of these cheap sales, and it's cheap right now. I wholly recommend it. Honestly, I think for the visual aesthetic alone, it's worth taking a walk in for $3.
I like the visuals of it.
There are these vistas, like when you walk out of your apartment into the city and you can look up. Oh, and it's like very like Duke Nukem. There's all these billboards for these like crazy shitty companies and stuff that's going on that you can look at, and like that's stuff I get a chuckle out of because like we don't really get games that do that anymore, and I really like it. Like I think it adds a lot of charm and personality to a game. But I take this train ride, and you see the sky that you're like over these clouds, and you see how the clouds like move and stuff as you're running. It's just very nice. Like you're like, for me, I'm like, I could use 100 more games that look exactly like this game. Like this is my aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
Like I kind of want everything to look just like this. It's very nice, very nice. So I'm enjoying that little gem.
Was that? Did you say that was one that you got from one of those bundles, or it was something different?
I think I might have got it from those free games things that we were doing, like one of those 10-cent games. I think it was one of those. Yeah. I think, I'm not sure. I don't know where I got it from. Like I was scrolling through all of the icons on my Switch, and I was like, "What is this one?" And
it was just there.
Yeah, I was like, "Let's play this one," because I played like 10 of them. I played a Kane, which is another pretty cool game, especially if you're into like that vampire survivor kind of run sort of thing. I like that one. I was just scrolling through icons and clicking on things like, what is this one? What's that one? And I started playing this one. Yeah, I started playing this one and I was like, oh, no, this is really good though. And I just kind of kept playing it. And I've just been playing it for like the last 2 days. So,
nice.
Wholly recommend.
Very good. What about you, Delvin?
Oh, no, I ain't playing no games this week. I had a horrible week. It was absolutely terrible.
I'm sorry.
But I watched The Heretic, which is a good movie.
The Heretic. Remind me, why do I feel like I've seen that one?
That's that horror movie where the two missionaries go into the guy's house.
Oh, I haven't seen it. Okay. Yeah.
And things happen. I liked
What's
it a lot.
the guy's name? He's famous, right?
Yeah, Hugh. What is his name?
Hugh Grant.
Grant, yeah.
Every woman's dream, right?
Well, I was not thinking of Hugh Laurie, but it's Hugh Grant, yes.
What was Hugh Grant in? Was he in like
a lot of
movies?
Was that?
What was that rom-com that he was in though? Like Renee Zellweger or something like that? That's what people are known for? Yeah. I don't remember what that movie was.
Still looks good. Still good looking man. He's very old. Looks good.
Was it Bridget Jones? Is that a thing?
Bridget Jones Diary. Yes. Bridget Jones Diaries. Love Actually. 4 Weddings and a Funeral.
I think when I was in high school, like my wife and her sister like watched those movies like endlessly.
Yeah, he's in.
And now he's in horror movies.
Yeah, he was in a lot of stuff. He's like In the 90s, he was like that guy. Like he was that.
Yeah,
that
he really
heartthrob
was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like every girl's British heartthrob, like the mature, British guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the movie a lot. Thought it was really good. Really good, different take on horror movie.
I gotta get back into horror movies.
Well, I got to start watching.
I watched the Barbie movie again.
That's a good movie. I liked it.
It's really entertaining. Like, it's really fun to watch.
I need to watch that again.
I watched that on the day of the inauguration.
The spectacle of the set and the music pieces is just spectacle is the right word. Like, they really just went for it, man. They sent it, the whole thing. No stone was unturned in that production.
The writing was so funny too.
It is. I appreciate that on paper that movie shouldn't work, but in execution, watching it works so well.
Oh yeah,
it is
totally
fantastic.
Works. Yeah.
My favorite quote from that movie is when the daughter calls Barbie a fascist, and Barbie goes, "But I don't even control the railways or the flow of commerce." It's just like little things like that make it really funny.
I was watching what's that other movie that he does? Sorry, we don't even need to talk about that. We're supposed to be a Nintendo show. We're talking about The Last of Us and Barbie for some damn reason.
We're turning to PSXP.
Yeah, we are. I was watching, it was like Drive, I think is what it's called, with Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling movie. Yeah, Drive.
Yeah, and then it just got me wanting, I was like, I need to watch that Ken song again.
I appreciate that after people watching Drive, they're like, oh, he can't act. They thought he couldn't act because, his role was such a stoic role.
Yeah, no, I love that movie.
It's a great movie, but people are like, oh, Ryan Gosling can't act. I'm like, no, he can act.
We gotta stop listening to people.
Well, that was the general audience. Yeah, I don't listen to people anyway. But
we gotta stop. We gotta stop.
That was the talk around him, but yeah, he can act.
Now watching Remember the Titans, I could see you wondering if he can. What a career!
He had a heck of a career. A heck of a career. Like, it is.
Yeah, I got to get back into the horror movies. There's several that I want to watch, but Delvin, I kind of I feel like I'm missing out on the fun because I'm not watching them when they come to theaters. Like, I'm watching them like 4 months after everybody else has already watched them.
I watch them exclusively when they come to digital. I am not going to a theater to go see horror movies.
I will go for
theater's too expensive.
28 years later, and that's it.
I will go for any Jordan Peele movie. 28 years later, I'll go for.
Like that one, I can't wait. I gotta see it. I can't wait.
Is there any other ones I'll go for? There's one that's coming out, I think, this week that looks really good. I can't remember the name of it.
I've made a list. I've got a list to start checking them off, but so far I've just not been. I did Nosferatu. That's good.
I got that on digital. I need to watch it.
What about you, Rebecca? Favorite horror movies? You watch it a bunch? Elm Street 5?
Horror movies.
We got to get her in the decade of horror, Delvin.
I have not seen too many. I don't really like horror movies. I don't like gore or like jump scares. I like creepy things, but I don't like horror.
Yeah.
You might like The Heretic, then.
Have you seen The Babadook?
No.
Could I recommend that to you?
Okay.
Could you give it a try?
Maybe.
Can I get one recommendation in our years of friendship? Could I give you one horror recommendation?
You can give me all the recommendations. Yarden's been trying to get me to watch John Wick for the past 6 years, and I still haven't.
Yeah, John Wick is. I'm always down for a John Wick marathon.
I watch like 2 or 3 movies a year.
The Babadook or The Witch are my go-to movies for. I like creepy, but I don't want to be scared. Those are my go-to picks.
The Heretic falls in that a little bit.
You think so?
Yeah, it definitely does.
And you might like The Witch more. Because The Witch is very pilgrim horror. It's very slow burn. It's not very scary.
The guy on the cover of... It's pronounced Heretic. Kind of reminds me of the creepy guy the murderer from The Lovely Bones. Is that horror? The Lovely Bones?
Yes,
I love that movie.
Yeah.
It's horror.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite horror movie. Lovely Bones. I don't know if it's horror, but whatever.
It's
All right,
horror.
Delvin. So no games then.
No, it's been a rough week.
The
Terrible.
Last of Us. No.
Oh, I played a little bit of I'm playing Yakuza Pirates still.
Yeah.
Game's awesome. I love the boat battles in it.
That is a game I would expect to show up for Switch 2 in short order.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think so. And I think it'll be a lot of fun. I hate to say it. I kind of like the boat battles in that game more than I like them in Black Flag.
Is that a hot take?
It might be. The battles are a lot more simpler.
I hated the boat battles in Black Flag, so that doesn't sound like a hot take to me.
People love those boat battles. I was like, this is all right.
People or like person?
No.
I know. People
Critics.
like Black Flag.
Let's say critics.
I know. People like Black Flag. I get it.
Yeah.
I do not. I am not one of people.
Yeah, I like the boat battles in Yakuza Pirates better. It's just a lot more. It's a lot more simpler, a lot funner.
Nice.
A lot of ridiculous elements to it.
I like the boat battles in Wind Waker better.
Well, Wind Waker's just Wind Waker.
We need boats to return in Zelda. I need boats.
Wouldn't be mad at that.
Be great. All right. Well, you guys ready to do the news then?
Yes.
Well, probably.
Well, we've got a lot of news this week. I'm actually excited. I am excited that I made the show. Like, I was not worried about it. I'm sure you guys would do great without me.
We were not. No, we were. It was never going to happen without.
Like,
you.
I didn't want to miss the show. I think we have like fun news stories I want to talk about.
We were either going to wait until later or tomorrow because we weren't going to do this without you.
Did you see that picture of the tornado I sent Delvin, Rebecca? Mm-hmm. That was less than a half a mile from my house. It was like right behind the house here.
Yeah, I was expecting to see sharks.
We got lucky, very lucky, and no trees fell. So I'm very, very lucky.
Live somewhere that has tornadoes like that.
Okay, so first news story, and this one is 100% for you, Mr. Delvin Cox. Wild Blue was announced at the Humble Games Showcase from Chuhai Labs. Is a new on-rails shooter. Chuhai Labs is led by Giles Goddard, who is of original Star Fox development team fame.
All right.
The only platform that was announced was PC. There's no timeline announced, but their previous games, Curse to Golf and Halloween Forever, came to Switch, so I think it's a pretty good bet you can expect this game to show up on Switch 2, which is why the show is named Will Wild Blue Switch 2. The trailer is 100% Star Fox.
Yeah,
they even make
Star
a
Fox.
They even make a barrel roll joke. They're like, "Hey, do a barrel." Like, well, no, we don't do that here. Don't say that. That'll get us in trouble. Like, it's so funny because in the last month we have discussed or shared 3 or 4 Star Fox clone. This is the Star Fox clone. Like, this is it.
It looks
I'm not telling you not to play the other games. If you love Star Fox, play all of the games, but do not miss this one.
This looks great.
Yeah. I was pretty excited when I saw the trailer.
I'm excited. Let's go.
There's not a
This
whole
looks
lot
awesome.
to it. Like, it's still early, so I don't know how far away we are, but I would expect this to show up on Switch 2. And then the only question that I really have is, I hope they can beat Star Fox. Like, I'm 100% think Nintendo is making a Star Fox game at some point, and I hope this game can get out in front of it, because we see this oftentimes where a game is kind of missing in action for a while. So some indie developer tries to make one, and then the company has one ready to go, and it kind of ruins it for everyone
Or
else.
it takes a really good indie of that genre to get Nintendo to be like, oh, people still want this, like having Hollow Knight pop up, and then they're like, oh, here's Metroid Dread.
I wonder if they could lend them like the R-Wing or something. Not the characters, but like maybe like a skin that you could buy or something. Like, I wonder if they could partner with them for something like that.
That'd be cool.
That would be a great way to like kind of get the Star Fox buzz going as you ready a new Star Fox game.
Just make Star Fox. You can even make it like a small title. Like, here's a $40 Star Fox game.
The question is that who's making it?
Anyone, please. Just
See, I think the problem is that the challenge is that we need a Star Fox, but it needs to be not Star Fox 64.
I agree.
Like, we need something new from Star Fox, right? It needs something new. I think that's why we haven't seen it.
Wild Blue. That's what it is.
I mean, Wild Blue is Star Fox CC4. Like, and I'm sure they'll iterate on it, but it is that formula. I'm wondering if Nintendo could do something different with Star Fox. I don't know if they're going to go Star Fox Adventure. I don't know, but like something new, like make that franchise different now.
I have ideas of what I think it could be, but it's like they have to put like effort behind it.
Of course.
Like I think of like Star Fox like No Man's Sky, kind of like.
Which is what we saw.
They need to do something big with it, I feel.
Yeah.
Which is what we saw with the Ubisoft game. Starlink was kind of that. And I was 100% after we saw that, I was like, just let Ubisoft do this. Like, this is what they do. Big open space, open world Star Fox game. Let them do that.
Open space, open world.
I would have bought that in a heartbeat.
Go to different planets and stuff and explore the planets for
land,
resources,
get
like
some
that.
stuff, shoot some stuff. Yeah.
Deal with pirates in space. Yeah.
That'd be super good. I'd be way
have
behind
your
that.
crew. Yeah. They can do a lot with that.
I've also pitched, I think this would make more sense as like a Nintendo Land game or like a mini game, but I want like a Star Fox like shoot 'em up, like a shmup, like a little asteroids, like retro kind of bullet hell something like that. I
99.
Yeah, like a
something like that would
like
be
a
really
Defender.
cool. Yeah. I think a retro arcade inspired Star Fox game would be a lot of fun to like. It's something cheap to like raise, some franchise awareness and get people excited. I think it'd be really cool.
I agree.
Cool. Well, everybody put Wild Blue in your Steam wish list and keep an eye out.
I just did.
I'm sure it's gonna show up in a Nintendo Direct at some point. Atelier Yumia is releasing next week, and we're getting a demo for it tomorrow, which is pretty exciting. So if you're on the fence about it and you want to give it a try, you can play a demo tomorrow, and of course all of your stuff will transfer to the main game. Famitsu was out first with reviews. They got a 34 out of 40. When the reviews actually released, it weren't nearly as good here. I didn't write it down, but I can go find it. It's currently sitting at an 80, which is higher than it was the day it released. The day it released, it was like a 72. So that's pretty good. I have heard from multiple reviewers that the Switch version is not performing so great. So just know
That's
that.
disappointing.
Completion time is between 50 and 60 hours. A complete run with all side quests will take you over 80 hours to play. So I think I will play this like I play most games like this for 10 or 15 hours and move on to something else.
That's how you should play it.
But I'm excited. I am excited to play it. It is like this Japanime kind of Breath of the Wild take. So I'm kind of interested. I'm still all in. So Splatoon 3 was updated to version 9.3 for multiplayer balance, and there are a lot of them. I did my best to surmise. This is
kind of like a non-news, to be honest. They do this kind of like multiplayer
these adjustment
balance updates,
patches,
like a couple times a year.
Are they this long?
Yeah, they're usually longer.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't write everything down. I tried to surmise it. Like the page of patch notes was infinitely long. It was like forever long.
They do this like once or twice a year usually. But it's been a little while since the last one. They're still putting.
I thought they were done.
Balance updates.
I thought they were done with it, to be honest with you.
No, they'll do it for a long more time.
Long story short, they made a lot of changes to the stats on weapons, Splatfest stages. One thing they really pointed out was there were several spawn points, landing points, and specific terrain that like people could camp out on and shoot you that they've adjusted to give people like either like a limited time of like vulnerability or the opposite, invincibility, like upon landing. They changed some changes to super jump, to turf war, and then lots of quality of life bug fixes for multiplayer and controls, clipping screens, drop matches, things like that. They talked about like screen freezing. So if you've encountered any of that anywhere, like they've been fixing it. So go play that. It's funny you said non-news because I wrote this down as non-news. Bloomberg came out with an article. This is our non-news news story of the week. Analysts predict Switch 2 to be the biggest console launch in history.
That's amazing.
This is what I think is amazing. Multiple investment analysts say $400 or higher will be the price. Like, fucking, I need to get one of these jobs. Of course, guys. Quote, the original Switch's NVIDIA chip was estimated to cost around $80 per unit, while the Switch 2's chip is likely to be in the $130 to $150 range, says Toyo Securities analyst Hideki Yasuda. I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo goes ahead with the $499. So that is an analyst opinion. Like, he put it to word, put his name, and said $499. Everybody else is like, it'll be over $400, less than $600. Like, that's lame. That's crazy. Nobody knows what the console's going to cost.
What they should have did was, it's going to be between $100 and $1,000.
Wow,
Right.
bold.
Yeah. So we are little over 2 weeks away from Switch 2 Direct Mania. I'm sure we'll get the price then and there, and all hell will break loose, and it's going to be super fun. But everybody still.
I really could see it be at $499, but I still think it'll be $399.
Jules said $499 would be too much in his opinion. I'm curious, Jules, would you still buy it at $499? Because I would probably say, like, that's a bit much, but I'd still buy it. It's not going to stop me from buying it. Like, all right.
I would still buy it.
I think $399 makes sense. I think Nintendo. I got a couple thoughts on the price. Based on what we think we know of the internals and everything, the chips and everything, I think Nintendo's using old hardware, and I think the target is $399. Like, I think they're making a profit at $399 on what they're selling us, and that's why I expect some of like the techier performance like YouTubers and influencers. I expect we're gonna get some videos after it launches of how like underwhelming they think the Switch 2 is, based on the Ally and the Steam Deck and stuff. I think there might be some room for people to be a little disappointed by performance. That said, I do think the climate, the financial climate, and just generally, like, I wonder, do they come in at a higher price just so they don't have to raise it later? Right? Like, that's kind of I think my worry is in the financial climate, they go $399, and then we're in a PlayStation situation where 18 months later, they're like, actually, now it's $499.
That would be really bad.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, like, do they just add it into it? Do they just do it from the start? And they're like, listen, let's just split the difference. It's $450, and we'll figure it out. Like, we'll make it work at $450.
I think that's more likely.
I also do think we could see them announce it for $399, but then they make like a bundle or a SKU. Then that's the only SKU you can get at like $450 or $499. They're like, no. The Switch 2 costs $399, like the PlayStation 5 did with the Slim. Remember, they're like, this is the Slim, it's $399, but you just couldn't buy one for 2 years. Yeah. Like, you had to buy the disc model.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we're gonna get something like that. We're gonna get like a Mario Kart bundle or a Pro bundle or something, and like that's the only one that's available. Yeah. I could see something like that happening for sure.
Like, people can't really complain.
Yeah. Like, well, we've got the $399. You got to be fast. Like, get out there.
Go out there and look.
And anybody who like really wanted it to begin with, was probably going to get the more expensive one anyway, because it has what they would get.
I think we are. I mean, I think all of us would. Yeah, if they give me a bundle or like better memory or any, like, I'm buying that one. So I'm all in. I do think Jules is right, though. I think $499 would be a big sticker shock to most Nintendo customers. So I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna try not to do that. So, let's see here. Last week, the FCC dropped that Nintendo Switch 2 would have Wi-Fi 6 and NFC capabilities, which we discussed about. This week, we have a new FCC filing, which hints at a new control method for Switch 2. We know this because it's a brand new model number prefix that Nintendo has never used with the Switch before. So this is a new device for the Switch 2 that Cyber Sleuths are saying this is a GameCube controller. And the reason they're saying this is when you file filings for the FCC, you have to determine like where you're going to put like that sticker label that's on all of our controllers and stuff. And where they have it listed in the diagram, even though it's just a box with a square, it could only probably be a GameCube controller because it's like weirdly off to the left. It's like off center to the left. So unless they're just going to throw that on the back of like a weird Pro controller or something, which people even went as far as saying that this couldn't be the Switch 2 Pro controller because it doesn't have NFC in it, which I don't think that means it couldn't be, but I think that's probably a good guess. So the running theory is that Nintendo is readying a wireless GameCube controller for Switch 2.
I like
And
it.
of course, that's got everybody going crazy about GameCube support. So I don't know. We'll find out. It's a good rumor. You excited?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
GameCube?
it's gonna be cool. Yeah, GameCube.
Yeah.
That's dope.
This isn't a. This matches up with like we've for I think for about a year, like the oatmeal domes of the world, the data mine, the patch updates and stuff. We've seen icons and various references to GameCube support. So, like I'm inclined to believe it. This probably is definitely going to happen. So,
Didn't they make a GameCube controller for the Wii U?
yeah, but it was for Smash. It was there were
Is it
wired ones.
Possible that this could be like that, like just like a preferred.
It's
controller.
Bluetooth. It could.
Oh.
I mean but it's Bluetooth. The difference being for Smash, we have official GameCube controllers for Switch and Wii U, but they're wired and they're for Smash.
Yeah. Okay.
This is
Yeah,
wireless,
people
which
aren't
makes
gonna
me
pick
think,
the Bluetooth one.
yeah, this is Switch Online focused, which I'm sure you could. I mean, you can play Smash and stuff with it. I'm sure if you wanted to.
People wouldn't though if it's people
No.
want a wired one for that.
Correct. Nintendo will open a new Nintendo store in San Francisco on May 15th. And guess what? A Shaq alumni lives right down the street. We have to be nice to Garrett, guys, so we can send him on some supply runs to pick us up some shit.
Nah, son, fuck that.
I need Cubone plushies, apparently.
I hope this is the first of many. They
That
really
would be
should be
nice.
popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
Put
It
one
would
in
be
every
nice.
major city.
Look here, Garrett.
Put one in London. Put them everywhere.
Put one in Miami. Put one in Atlanta. Put them everywhere. Why not?
I wonder what their costs would be. Like, don't put one in Atlanta. I don't need to see folks twerking on Mario, and don't do that.
Now 100% put one in
They're gonna give Luigi like a plate of chicken wings, like get on the table. Like Atlanta doesn't deserve that, man. Don't do that.
Yeah. Now I need to see it go in Atlanta.
You're about to see how ghetto Nintendo can get real quick.
Yes.
Let's call it Nintendo Magic City.
Yeah.
Funny.
See people dressed as Yoshi dancing on cars. Yeah.
Oh man. Nah, don't do that. We're good, Nintendo.
Do that, Nintendo.
Like I assure you, they won't. They'll be like, absolutely not. Notice how they put it in San Francisco.
Yeah.
As we previously talked about in the news block a couple weeks ago, Niantic has actually been sold to the Savvy Games Group for $3.5 billion. So the Savvy Games Group now owns Pokemon Go.
I wonder, like, how much Nintendo has to say in that kind of deal. Like,
I mean, they had a stake of Niantic when they made that deal, or the Pokemon, company collaboration, whatever, has a stake. So I'm sure
this
they had to
new
sign off on
owner
it.
can't just like do whatever they want with the Pokemon in the game.
No. That's all Pokemon Company. So
Correct.
they're just lucky to be able to use it. They don't own the license or anything like that. And as I talked about when this came out, everybody was like, the Saudis are buying Pokemon Go. Savvy Games Group, again, is a international game corporation that the Saudi group owns a stake in. Guess what? That same Saudi group owns a stake in Nintendo and Ubisoft and NetEase.
Like everything.
So
in gaming.
they're just spreading their money around, waiting for a bet to pop off. Is really what they're doing.
Yeah.
So,
We're waiting for them to buy a stake in Nintendo Shack.
yeah. Hey, I will sell you 6% of the Nintendo Shack.
$2.4 billion.
If Nintendo was upset about it, I don't think this would have happened. But again, they're an investor for Nintendo, so I don't think Nintendo cared. I think they're like, that's fine. Yeah. So, I love that Nick says Donnie is spot on about Nintendo Store of Atlanta.
Look.
If you know, you know.
Look. I have family in Georgia, and I know how shit gets. Shit gets
We'll be
crazy.
drag racing Chargers and four-wheelers out in front. Luigi's about to hit the crip walk and shit.
Yeah. I've seen some wild shit in Georgia.
I didn't know Atlanta was that bad.
What? It's like a.
There's a
I live in a
TV show
different.
based off of it.
I live in a different world from the rest of you. I swear.
Well, kinda. You know, Miami kind of has that feel.
Miami though has money and class. This is the ratchet version of that.
I don't know about money in class.
At least South Beach, it's very expensive. You need
South Beach
real money to like roll around here, dude. Magic City is a hole in the wall, like under a bridge.
Yeah.
All these rappers, like, I gotta go there. Like, it's nothing. Like, it's not. You know, it's not affluent.
It's not at all.
You know,
South
like
Beach
Fort
is
Lauderdale, South Beach. These are real clubs with nice cars and stuff. That shit ain't rolling down
People
here.
are pretending to be rich in Miami. They're not.
I'm sure there's. I mean, I'm sure
There's
that's
a
everywhere.
lot of wild stuff going on in Miami.
I'm just saying it's generally not like the nightclubs and stuff are nice. Here we have a strip club that
I
like
can take you to
praises
some spots.
itself. We have a strip club that praises itself on having like 75, 80-year-old strippers.
What?
I
The
can take you
Claremont Lounge, yeah, that's like grandma. You go get lap dances for grandma here. That's a real thing.
there's some spots in Miami I can take you to. You're like, oh, what is going on?
Atlanta's something else, man. It's
I didn't know.
something else.
There's some spots in Miami I take you like, oh, I didn't know Miami was this bad. Like, what's going on up here?
It's every time I'm on this podcast with Dev, especially Dev, not so much Delvin, but especially Dev. Dev's just like, the whole world is racist. I'm like, you need to get to Atlanta.
Atlanta's wild.
I did not know.
Wakanda forever over here, buddy.
Atlanta's a wild place.
Not around here, partner.
Yeah.
I love the favorite TikTok. This guy was walking his dog in Atlanta. He goes, I'm out here for a walk. And he just looks in this person's yard. He goes, goddamn chicken wing. He just found a lemon pepper wing on the ground.
Yeah.
Like, of course. Of course. Oh, where were we? I don't know what we're talking about. Niantic, right. Okay. Pokemon Go. Hello Kitty has sold over 500,000 copies.
Hell yeah.
Rebecca's one of them.
Yes,
I guess I am.
And it made her play Animal Crossing instead.
It did.
that is correct.
I gotta get that game for Melissa. I still think it hasn't released physically yet, right?
No.
Not yet.
Yeah, I don't think so. Xenoblade Chronicles X releases next week, I think, or the week after, maybe.
Next week.
It's already out. It's leaked. The ROM is leaked. The hackers have already ripped it and put it on the internet, and people are already playing and streaming it
Didn't
illegally.
it leak 10 years ago on the Wii U?
I think it
Well, yeah, I guess you can look at it that way. The new one is, I mean, the
There's more
port is
content, I know.
the port is kind of amazing. Have you guys kept up with any of that, like on what they've done?
I have not.
Okay, so the port runs at a higher resolution, a higher
You guys talk
frame
about
rate.
this, I'll be right back.
It's a higher resolution, a higher frame rate. It has more content. They've added more DLC and more content to it, and they've cut the game size in half.
Oh,
Like, what the hell? Monolith is the opposite of NBA 2K. Monolith Soft, they're like on Wii U, the game was like, I don't know, I'm going to pull a number out of my butt, but I think it was like 25 gigs. And on Switch, they're like, we're going to add more content. It's going to be higher resolution. It's going to run faster. And it's like 13 gigs. They've
That's
cut
incredible.
it down.
NBA 2K be like, let me get your whole.
No, listen here, sir. No, you are not Frisk. We are not doing that. It's a bad influence on you. We are not doing
I
that.
don't know what's happening with these pets today, but they're acting wild.
Listen,
Like,
I am not Rebecca. You are not the captain here. You better go on somewhere.
the Chihuahua was over here barking earlier. Like, yeah, cut that shit out. I don't even like you.
All right, let's see. Let's keep going. Rebecca's still not back yet. This is a fun one, though. I want her to... Damn it. All right. Well, I'll just say it. We've got a rumor that came out this week. I mean, it's a rumor because it's not an official outlet saying it. But, I mean, it's factual in the fact that this is one of those people, like, on the FAMI boards that are monitoring all these shipments that are going across, the ocean and coming through customs. All right. So almost 400,000 Switch 2s were already shipped to the United States in January These came through Vietnam, which would get them through customs without tariffs.
Ooh. Interesting.
So, and that was January, and it's March. So there's room to believe that number's higher now. So it came from the Vietnamese manufacturer HVBG, and the person on the fan board says these are full, complete retail box units. So it's not like parts. They didn't send screens or anything. Like, these are ready to go. You could buy them now. You could go to the warehouse and steal it. So,
which apparently somebody's doing.
yeah, well, this is why this is kind of a two-story story, because we're going to get there in a minute. But I was thinking about this, right? Like, we talked about this when we talked about all this tariff stuff, about maybe how they could get around it because of, like, could they move manufacturing to, like, Singapore, Vietnam, Taiwan? They just opened the subsidiary. Like, could they get around the tariffs? So it looks like they're at least trying to do that with the Vietnamese manufacturer. But then, I mean, what if Nintendo is building like a Switch 2 launch war chest of 500, 600, 700,000 units for...
Well, that's what we kind of said that they were doing we said that a while ago, didn't we? That, you know, they were planning on making sure there was enough
to
stock.
Make a bunch,
getting ahead of it, and I want to know, what warehouse are these all sitting in so that we can go...
Right, I think, that's... Everybody was like, So, so that's story. That's part one of the story. Parts two of the story, somewhat maybe tangibly, probably not tangibly related, is that a YouTuber, RGT85, released a video stating that he and other influencers have been offered Switch 2 units for sale for several $1,000s. There's somebody contacting these people saying, hey, I have obtained a Switch 2. It apparently is a working unit of some kind, and they are offering to sell it to people. Now, when I saw this come across the Reddit and I watched the video, I 100% think this is a scam. like this is a way to scam people out of money.
Probably.
But if I'm wrong, the reason I put it on the notes, just know that if we wake up tomorrow or this week or something, and there's a Switch 2 video that pops up because somebody's bought one of these things, like, I guess there exists the possibility that somebody's got one of these ahead of time off the black market and could beat Nintendo to the...
Did RGT say he's not going to buy it? Because he would be really putting himself in a bad spot if he did.
Yeah, it didn't sound like he was going to buy it, but he did, like, kind of show the discussions in the emails that, like, this is what I'm being offered, and apparently other people are being offered too.
Him as a big YouTuber.
My dogs are about to go nuts. Hang on, I'm going to go mute.
Hi, puppy. Puppy. Puppy.
And I'm back.
Hi.
So, we'll see. Like I said, I think it's a scam, but we'll see. If we get a video, somebody's like, let us show you the Switch 2. Wouldn't it be wild? I mean, it would be very on brand, I think, for Switch 2 to release ahead of the Direct. Like, everything is leaked. We knew about the whole like, if somebody just has it, could you imagine they just turn it on? You just get to see it.
That would be really, really funny. I would love that.
I don't know. We'll find out. So anyway, that's the news. Rebecca, take it away.
Well, wait, hold on one second. I just wanted to shout out one other thing that we didn't have here that I saw on Nintendo Life. Remember that play test, that online play test that I was really bummed that
you were
I didn't
so
get
trying
to
to get into?
And you guys were like, I don't even care. It's stupid.
I did it. Yeah, it was.
Okay.
All of y'all refreshing.
Some information came out about who the programmers were behind this. And it was the same directors of Splatoon on the Wii U, Nintendo Labo, Ring Fit Adventure, and Splatoon 2's Octo expansion. So those are the creative talents. So whatever it is that they were working on was by the same people. So I just thought that was kind of interesting because we like all those games and we consider all those games to be very good. I'm curious what they're up to. That's all. I
always thought that was about some sort of networking component. I think I said that then. I'm sure I did. When I thought about that, the whole idea of doing like we're having a beta, it's exclusive, and we're only doing it for this point in time, so we need everybody to log in at once. That's like a stress test IT mechanic that you're trying to throw waves. It's like maybe they're trying to process like a load balancer or some sort of like, I think they scratched together a demo to like test like new infrastructure. If I had to guess, that's what I guessed at the time. The fact that the Splatoon people are now attached to it makes me think that's probably
with
true.
anything. But yeah. The fact that it's like from those creative talents, like I want to know like what is the purpose? Like what kind of game are they hoping to do that for? Or like, you know, what do they
I would guess Splatoon 4. They're probably testing some sort of online functionality that they can use in the next Splatoon game.
Maybe.
Probably.
Some sort of session-based something, maybe something. If I had to guess, I could be completely wrong. Maybe they're actually testing a game, but I never thought of that test beta thing they made. I never thought of that as we're going to see that in a product one day. I think that was like an intern put that together.
No,
so
I
they
don't
could test.
know. But an intern didn't put it together because we just got information that it was those creative talents.
Yeah, no, I understand.
So
Breaking news, everybody. My Metal Gear Solid board game just came in.
ooh.
Oh, that's killer, dude.
Cool.
I wonder what it's like
fucker's
to
heavy.
play.
Oh, it's very convoluted. Very
Yeah,
convoluted. Probably not gonna make any sense. Gonna
How
get
many
confused.
pieces is it?
It's a lot. It's a lot. Pieces look badass.
Show me the back.
Let me set the back of it. Let me try to put it close. This fucker's heavy.
Oh, that's crazy, dude.
That is so cool.
Dude, I have bought no less since we started this. We have boarded video games. They've got me to bite on like 20 board games. And almost every one of them, like all of them but one, I sit down and try to play, and I get through like page 3 of the instruction. I'm like, never mind. Like, I do not
Some
have
of
the
them are
brain
so
power for
convoluted
this.
with
There's
so many little pieces and so
many
many
different
like,
rules and different. It's like, oh my god,
Yeah.
somebody just make this a video game instead. I can't do this. I feel so dumb half the time trying to play a board game. Like, there's people that like this. Ugh.
Yeah, I like board games, especially the ones that are like 1 to 5 players. So if I don't want to play them, I can just play by myself. Like, this
Yeah.
is even perfect. I ain't gotta play.
The one they got me on was I think it's called like Nightmare Ultimate Werewolf or something, where like you use like your phone, and like it's like I forget what they call it. It's like a game where you're trying to essentially lie to each other. Like one of you is the werewolf, and you're trying to figure it out. It's like a deduction game or something.
That sounds cool.
It's super fun, and it's easy to pick up and play. That's what makes it fun.
I like this one. There's another one called Final Girls, which is really cool. It's a
They
single
like
player
that one. Yeah, they
board
like
game.
that
Yeah,
one too.
there's a horror series. I like that a lot. There's a lot of them I like a lot. But I saw this one at GameStop, and I was like, oh, this is pretty
They
cool.
get me with it. Like they tag me on the Resident Evil one. I'm like, nope, I'm not. I'm like, I'm done. I am done. I only have the aptitude to play Pokemon, the card game. That's it. That's the only tabletop game I have in me.
Not mad at it. Yeah, I couldn't leave this on the porch. They would have stolen it immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately, within seconds. This shit was $100. So like, absolutely not.
You'll have to let us know how it is.
You would get shot. like, fucking with me today, you would get shot. Your ass would get kneecapped today fucking around.
All right, moving on to our questions, starting with Famajeff. What new gimmick do you think the next Mario Kart will bring? I love thinking about this. This question kind of comes to my brain every couple weeks. Because most of the Mario Karts have introduced a new gimmick, and a lot of them stayed with the series. Some of them were just like a one-time thing, like Double Dash was just a one-time thing, but then like the glider stuck around. I think the anti-gravity in 8 will stick around. 2 items, so on and so forth. I hope the gimmick is a good story mode.
That'd be cool.
A good campaign that isn't Grand Prix.
Yeah. Like
They should like Fast and Furious, that game. Like the story mode just be a ridiculous story of Mario and Luigi together and like racing and stuff like that. Yeah.
I mean, we have like the Mario movie to like kind of do something like that. They could tell like a journey, like a Mario Kart journey.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be too bad.
They could. I would like it.
Something like Diddy Kong Racing, where like maybe they like
Oh, that'd be lovely.
they transform into boats and stuff.
I was thinking that too.
Even if it was just like one or two courses where like you're on boats instead of a road.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
I know.
Some thoughts that come to mind, just based on the literal 2 seconds of footage we got in that little trailer. It looked like there was like a gas station on the side, and like that gas station had like some sort of like icons or something you could drive through.
Yeah.
So in other racing games that I have played, especially like the arcade ones, like the new ones, like having gas or like pit stops that you just drive through to like refill something.
Big change, yeah.
I could see them adapting something like that to the,
That'd be cool.
thing.
I
That is
like
cool.
that. I think that a lot of people would hate it, but I would like
Oh,
it.
I definitely think they would. And it would be like items. I'd imagine you could turn them on and off, but I agree with you. I think people would hate it. I also wonder, like, if it's like a pit stop and not like a fuel thing, I wonder if you could have like damage to your carts that could like affect the cart's performance. So if you get hit a lot, like you're not as fast as you used to be. So you got to like pit stop to like get your stats back. Something like some sort of durability mechanic. I could see
people would hate that. Could you imagine?
weapon durability in Mario Kart. This one's just out of left field, but I think it'd be fun as the car guy. When I see that track that we saw, it's massive, right? It's super wide. I wonder if we could possibly get like really long courses, like in the racing world, I would say something like endurance racing, but not like, I'm not saying like crazy, like 100 laps or anything like that. Like Mario Kart's not gonna do that. But like, I'm wondering like, wait, listen to me. Instead of like having loops, like where you do like lap 1, lap 2, lap 3 of the same course, like could you connect like multiple courses together and just kind of go?
That would be cool.
And like have like a little grand tour, like, and not super long, not like hours of racing, but like instead of having like a 3-minute race, could you have like a 10-minute race or like an 8-minute race, like something?
I wonder if
like
they could do that with like within the same cup. You know, like you might
That's
not be
what I
able
was
to choose
thinking.
like a desert course and a chocolate course and a underwater course. Like that might be too much. But like if you have like, you know, one cup where, you know, they're all kind of like jungle or foresty themed tracks, like maybe you could play them, you know, like whatever word you use, not, you know, interconnected way. That would be cool.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. And even if you had like, let's say you even have the same courses, like say every cup has 4 courses, like maybe there's like the Grand Prix and then there's like the Grand Tour where they connect all 4 together and you just do them all in like one shot at the end or something.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that would be new and different and like maybe cool.
Mm-hmm.
Because I keep wondering, like, how do we get people to play? Like in my head, I'm thinking, like, how do you get people to play Mario Kart longer?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if you could? I don't even know if we would. But what if you could? What if you could, like, in one shot race every race? What if you could do like an hour-long Mario Kart race?
That would be crazy. I feel like it wouldn't even matter to like what place you're in until like the last like 2 minutes.
I think people online would love something like that. I think there would be like events set up to do something.
That'd be
like
interesting.
They would have to make sure that there's good connection to have that online though, because could you imagine like people dropping out, you know, losing connection, and like you go from like 24 people to like 3.
It's a good thing the Splatoon folks just did that network test thing.
So true. So true.
So chat says, G-Man says it's possible to the Wonder Flower effects could be. Like, do you think they could add the Wonder Flower to Mario Kart?
Yeah, they'll add other power-ups.
That would be cool.
They'll add other power-ups like that.
Use the Wonder Flower when they changed the course.
Yeah, I love what that. We haven't talked about it here, but that new Sonic game, that Sonic racing game, looks incredible.
Does look good.
And I love what they're doing is they have like these riffs, like Ratchet and Clank, where the leader, whoever's in the front, can pick which track the track morphs into, and you can hop around. So like they're kind of innovating in that kart racer space. I hope Nintendo is too. I hope they've got
comeback
something.
Sonic has made.
True.
It's impressive. It literally is impressive.
I want more like secret routes and stuff, like not just like a quick little shortcut. Like they have a lot of already
like
in
clipping through the
Mario
walls
Kart
and
where there's-
stuff.
Yeah, they have stuff like, take this little ramp and you can hop across a gap kind of shortcuts. But like I still go back to Beetle Adventure Racing and how many like alternate paths there are, and like that they're not all necessarily faster, but you can kind of go through and it's like a different way.
G-Man reminds me the Double Dash had the All Cup Tour. You did 16 races.
Yeah, but they weren't like connected like you're
Sure.
talking about.
Yeah. I forgot about that actually. I haven't played Double Dash in so long.
I should play it again.
I mean, like I've said it for 10 years now. 10 years. Rebecca, did you know that Ori turned 10 this year?
No. Stop
did.
it.
So I've been here talking about this for 10 plus years. I want a battle mode. I want legit battle mode to come back, and not like on a course battle mode. Like I need battle arenas. Give me something to fight for. Multiplayer Mario Kart, like battle multiplayer Mario Kart should be a lot bigger. When you look at the world of like battle royales and like Capture the Flag and King of the Mountain and stuff, the stuff that multiplayer games do, competitive multiplayer, the fact that Mario Kart just isn't in that blows my mind. Because it 100% should be. So I could spend you making a whole game that I could make a whole Mario Battle Royale mode, and that be a whole separate game if you wanted to do it. Like you look at what
I think we all
Fortnite's
just
doing
want
and stuff. That's crazy.
Really big things for this next Mario Kart. Like the last game was huge. It was Nintendo's biggest game on the Switch, and I feel they need to find a way to either match that energy or one up it, and especially if it's going to be a launch game, they need to be doing something big here.
It deserves to reinvest into it, and I think to your point, that game was made 14 years, like however long ago that game was made. It's been a long ass time. So like gaming's come a long way since they made Mario Kart 8 for Wii U. So it'd be nice to see them double down on that for sure.
Drew asks us, do you think GameCube is coming to NSO? And if so, do you think it'll come to OG Switch or be a Switch 2 exclusive?
Yes, Switch 2 exclusive.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do think it's coming. I've thought that for some time, and I think it will be. I think it'll be Switch 2 exclusive. One, because Nintendo wants to do something new for Switch 2 to get people to jump, of course. Two, though, like I think the Switch could totally have GameCube support. Like they could totally do that on Switch 1. So if it is backwards compatible, I won't be shocked. But I think the difference between it and like 64 and Super Nintendo are the file sizes. GameCube games do start touching like that 1 gig a game thing. And if you're going to have a service with, let's say, 20 GameCube games on it, is that too much? Do you think we can get 20 GameCube games?
I don't think they would start with 20.
Of course. I'm just thinking like kind of end game. Do you think we'll get 20 or more?
I think so. We could probably get there.
Because that's like 15 or 20 gigs. And like Switch 1 only has like 64 gigabytes like on board. Like it's kind of a problem. Yeah. So I think maybe that might be a technical reason why they are holding it for Switch 2.
I don't think it would come to both, or else it would have.
Unless they're going to go back to like the rotating games thing. They just do 5 at a time and flip them out.
No, I think they heard us loud and clear when they were deciding that for NSO originally.
And this works. Like they've talked about their subscriber numbers all the time. It's working. NSO is a big hit. So yeah.
But I think that that controller patent or whatever you said, the controller leak, really points towards that as well.
This is how you make more money, right? They're going to raise the price of games. They're going to raise the price of NSO, and they're going to sell us new plastic things to buy. And they're going to make a shit ton off of a GameCube controller. It's going to be the cheap controller that they sell us for $60 or $70. We're all going to buy one. So
we always do.
I love the GameCube controller. I've bought my own GameCube. What? I just dropped it. It's broken now.
Uh-oh.
Well, you had one.
I had one. Now I need a new one. Nintendo, I now need a new GameCube controller. I have a Switch Pro GameCube controller from Nixie because I prefer to play with a GameCube controller if possible.
I think that's probably most people's like the universal favorite controller of Nintendo fans. Like that's the one that always gets voted.
Okay, I was about to say, do you think of Nintendo fans? I think you might be right because when I bring this up on PSVG, the side eye that our two friends give me, Rebecca, Delvin and Dev, look at me like I'm a fucking monster when I say
It's not my favorite.
Yeah.
But I think it like universally across the Nintendo fans that's
Nintendo fans,
consistently
yes.
what people pick as
like
their
I love it. Yeah, like if I
Nintendo
can
fans,
play
yes.
any game with a GameCube controller, I want to.
Everybody else, no. Like, nah. This is like, nah. This ain't it, homie. It works for the GameCube though, perfectly.
Chat love me dropping the GameCube controller, by the way. I was like, listen what I got. Clank, smash, crash.
We have so many moments on this podcast like that.
Yeah. Okay, this one's also related. Hey, Corsi asks us, what are the 3 games you would want on GameCube Virtual Console?
Geo Corsi?
Good question.
Like legit though, like
Say Eternal Darkness.
it would have to be
Eternal Darkness and 2 other ones.
Eternal Darkness. Yes.
Say Eternal Darkness. Let's just get that out of the way.
Look, we already have Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door on Switch HD. I don't really want Wind Waker or Twilight Princess unless they're the HD versions. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm looking for games that probably wouldn't normally get remade or anything like that. So Eternal Darkness.
Does Nintendo own Eternal Darkness? Do we know that? Do they own it outright? Like, can they do it themselves, or do they need help? Do they need like a publishing rights, or I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know, like what that's even what's up with that game even these days.
Zelda: Four Swords Adventures with online.
That's a good one.
And
is a
Animal
good one.
Crossing.
Animal
Def Jam
Crossing for
Vendetta.
sure.
Let's go, baby. Bring it back.
What'd you say?
I do wonder, would they do Twilight Princess or Wind Waker?
Wait, what did Delvin say?
Def Jam Vendetta.
Def
The
Jam.
game people been asking for years. It's never coming back. But
The game Delvin's been asking for you. Just to,
people like Def Jam games.
I know. You're right. People do. It definitely has a loud following.
Trying to think of uniquely GameCube games. That I like a lot.
I mean, I do think they could bring the HD ports over and still put those other games in NSO. There's some of that. I like the idea of putting the Twilight Princess one just so it has like pro controller support and not like motion controls. Right?
Oh.
Like you could do that.
Twin Snakes. What am I thinking about? Yeah.
Twin Snakes, I was going to say
one.
Twin Snakes. Twin Snakes for sure. I would want Twin Snakes. I would also want Melee.
Melee's good. Yeah.
I think Melee would get a lot of people very excited.
That would be one that they would have to have day one, I really think.
Kirby Air Ride?
Yes. I want a remaster of that.
Wario World.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Those would be the ones that would come to mind. Oh, and the Star Fox games. Yeah, of course.
Top Fox games, of course.
I honestly think you can get a really nice, like, little 20 game lineup. You get some Mario parties, right? There's some good stuff there. And a lot of these things, we've talked about this before, a lot of these things, I don't think they will want to remaster. You know, a lot of people don't think they're going to do this because they're not remastering Chibi Robo or Rave Race, right? I don't think so. Maybe they are, but I don't like. They did Endless Ocean, so like I can't say never. But like I don't think Blue Storm's coming back. You know, I don't know about Kirby Air Ride. I doubt it. It doesn't seem like they are interested in making a Mario baseball game again. So like, yeah, put that stuff on NSO and let us have fun with it.
Is Beautiful
good
Joe on
stuff.
Switch?
No, nope. I love Beautiful Joe.
There you go. Put that on there.
You need the Capcom 5.
Oh, yeah. Resident Evil 4.
Yeah,
Beautiful Joe.
you need those.
G-Man, that's a good one. Mario Party 4 through 7.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Is there a Pokemon game?
Coliseum?
Like Coliseum Stadium, something like that. We could do something like that. It'd be good. We did it.
We did it.
Twin Snakes, though, that's like the third-party one that... I don't know how many third-party games they could get, but like the Japanese folks, Capcom, Konami, like the Nintendo, Sega, Nintendo should cut some checks to make sure we can get some of those things.
Twin Snakes would be good. I think one out a little bit out of left field, Simpsons Hit and Run. People like that game a lot.
Yes.
Who owns that?
For that. Ugh.
I don't know.
Who made Eternal Darkness? It wasn't Nintendo.
It was, I don't remember the name of the company now. Shit.
I don't remember either. It's like Silicon Graphics or...
Silicon Knight.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
Yeah. So I don't know like what that entails. I think Nintendo owns publishing rights, but I don't know if they own the IP. I don't know. But it would be cool if they could bring it back.
I don't know about Simpsons Hit and
Radical
Run
Entertainment.
and Road Rage.
Who?
Radical
Yeah, exactly.
Entertainment.
I don't even know if they do they exist anymore. Let me see.
Definitely
Road
not.
Entertainment is a Canadian video game developer.
Activision, essentially. That's what it is.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, maybe you could then.
Yes, they were transferred to Activision in 2008.
Well, good. You're already buddying up with Xbox.
Yeah.
So you could. Four Swords would be great. I see the chat. They bringing that up often. Four Swords
I would
be
rather
great.
have Road Rage than Hit and Run. I'm going to be honest. That was my childhood game.
I'm not mad at that either. That's a good take. That's a good one.
I don't think either one of them is likely, but
I know.
I actually think
Either
it
would
might
be
be
cool.
likely. I
They still make
it's
a
still
ton
got
of
to
Simpsons games.
the license, the Simpsons license.
Yeah, but they
Their
still
license
make
isn't
those.
that much now. Yeah,
They come out with a
make
new
some-
Simpsons game like once a year.
That's the one license I think Nintendo can easily get. Like, oh, here you go.
Yeah.
That one's
I
not
don't
that
know.
difficult.
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think I agree with you there. Could they? Yes. Would they? It's not. Could they not? It's would they
Would
want
they?
to spend it? Yeah. It's.
That's the question.
I
Would
don't
they?
think so. Because I think it would cost a lot more than what they probably typically are doing for these games.
I wonder.
You know?
That is a good. I do wonder about that now. Cause like, damn, like Bill and Ted got a re-release. I don't know. Nobody gives a fuck about Bill and Ted now.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
You'd have to think F-Zero would be in there.
Is that Blue Storm?
I'm trying to think. A lot of the games that I still play on GameCube are like licensed sports stuff, so I don't think any of that would show up. I love Battalion Wars, and I would like to see Battalion Wars in there. That'd be super fun. I think Nintendo owns that.
that's a good one.
Oh, Fire Emblem, of course. Like for sure, was it Path of Radiance? Which one was the Wii one?
I don't know, but now this is making me want to put Animal Crossing on my Steam.
Radiant
Deck.
Dawn was it says Path of Radiance, I think.
Path of Radiance is GameCube, yeah.
The funny thing, not the funny thing, the cool thing about this is Nintendo, I don't know if they're going to do this in their Switch 2 Direct or not, but literally they could just do a little snap and a GameCube icon show up and they give us a splash reel of like these 20-year-old games. And I think for millions of people, that would make them buy a Switch 2.
Because that's their
just
childhood. They're
that.
at the age now. The young
Yeah.
adults now, the GameCube is their Super Nintendo N64 for us.
Just that alone. Like, you didn't even have to do the rest of it. You could just be like, we'll put GameCube on it. People are like, fuck, I got to get it. Like,
Yeah.
and they may already own the games. They're like, I got to get a Switch 2.
Hear me out. Zelda Ocarina of Time Master Quest.
That would be awesome.
That'd be great.
I know we have it on 3DS, but this one's actually a little
They
bit
could put that whole promo disc on it.
because yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah. They could
Promo
just
disc
do the
doesn't
whole.
have Master Quest.
Which one is the collection? There's the promo disc, and then there's the collection, right? Of like the
No,
four.
no. The promo disc has the 4, and then
Okay.
the Wind Waker pre-order bonus was Ocarina of Time Master Quest.
The Master Quest. Okay. All right. They could put all that on there. That'd be fun.
Yeah, it would. I loved that promo disc with the collection. Like that was my first exposure to Zelda 1 and Zelda 2. And I was a special little child with lots of hyperfixations, and I rewatched that what is it called? The the thing that like kind of the retrospective, like Zelda through the years, like, and it showed all the games, like
Sure.
clips of all the games, and I can recall that music and how that looks. I watched that over and over
Love
and
it.
over and
That's
over.
great.
Yeah.
My parents must
Love
have
it.
hated me. Oh my god. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry
Why?
I was like that.
You could have been doing way worse.
Yes.
I think that's the least anybody thinks about with their daughters.
Yes.
I wish my daughter was up in her room watching Zelda retrospectives.
No, but like
Exactly.
over and over, like the
I
same
wish she
thing.
was watching
Why
it
did I
over
watch
and over
the
and over.
same
Yes.
thing over and over and over again.
Yeah, I think if that's your concern about your parents, I think you were an incredible daughter.
Yes. My kids used to watch like the Backyardigans over and over again.
Yeah, my kids did that too. Yeah,
I mean, there
Like
was
in
other
Blue's
stuff that I
Clues.
watched over and over and over again.
I know that song.
Yes. Your backyard friend, the Backyardigans.
What's gonna work?
Oh my god, wait, the Wonder Pets! Oh my god, that's so cool.
I know all those
love that.
songs.
Wonder Pets. Yeah.
I was too old to watch the Wonder Pets, but I like the song from it. Okay. Ryan asks us
Hang on. The online support for NSO for GameCube, being able to play online. That could be a sweet thing for a lot
I
of
thought you
people.
talking about the online support for Rebecca. 'Cause that was
Well,
also
the online support for our host is through the roof. Oh, I know.
Wait, what do you mean?
You don't see that on the goddamn screen, Rebecca.
They're cheering you on.
That's my mother. That's my mom.
It
that
doesn't
said
matter.
that was the best.
Is it the XBS?
Exactly. There you go.
Mama Minish. We got Rebecca's mom on Blue Sky now.
Yeah.
Mama
Oh,
Minish.
on Blue Sky? Oh my gosh.
That's great. That's like some rock stuff.
I didn't even.
Listen here, Mama Minish.
Mama
I did not
Minish.
even know that. That's so funny.
That's good.
I love my mom. She's my best friend.
She's great.
She helps me clean my house.
Oh my
She's your
God.
maid.
No, she's not. We hang out and we clean.
Ah.
And she pet sits Frisk. That's her grandson. Frisk is her grandson. She knows that's the most grandson she's gonna get.
Poor Frisk.
Ryan asks us, what third-party games do you think will be included in the Switch 2 Direct? The NS2. We're gonna call it the NS2, not the S2, not the Switch 2. The NS2.
Oh, sorry. Didn't realize that.
yeah,
Fixed
that's a
it.
big
There
deal.
you go.
There you go.
Got it. Nailed it.
Third-party games. We have talked about what first party we want to see, things like Mario Kart and whatever, but
Yeah.
we said stuff like Naughty Dog. What do
Yeah, we
want?
talked about that earlier. The reason I wouldn't say something like that, because I've maybe given some thought to this idea, especially since we got asked the question.
I have
Thank
a
you.
funny idea for that too, by the way.
I think we're gonna get big franchises, and that but I've thought in the past of like old Assassin's Creed games, old Far Cry games, I don't think we're gonna get a lot of that in the Direct. I think that stuff's coming to Switch 2. I think the Switch 2 is going to be a port haven. I think we're going to get tons of ports of games
Yes.
that have not been on Nintendo consoles in a decade. But in my head, I keep thinking this is a new system. This is the presentation. They want to start with new games. So I'm thinking newer things. And I do think of things like, I'm going to lean very Japanese, not that Western publishers won't be there, because I think Xbox could. Right? I don't know. I wouldn't bet on them being there, but could I see a Halo thing or a Call of Duty thing? For sure. But in my head, I'm thinking more like Capcom, Konami, Sega. I'm thinking Yakuza. I'm thinking Final Fantasy, Resident Evil, Dragon Ball Z, like Striking Zero.
Final
And
Fantasy VII.
I'm thinking games that haven't come out yet, like Metal Gear Remake. Like games that are still out in front here. right? Like, I think they want to get some of that in because you don't want to just show. I think Final Fantasy VII could definitely be one, Delvin. I'm not disagreeing with you. I just think they want to limit that because you don't want it to look like your console is full of a bunch of games that all the other consoles have already had for years, right? They're going to want some new stuff in there.
I think there'll be new stuff in there, but I also think there'll be something like one of the things I think that's probably going to be in there, most likely, WWE 2K25. It just came out. I can see them doing a whole big thing with have showing.
I don't think that's going to be in the direct.
I think
it could
put in a quick thing.
Maybe like a sizzle reel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's time for COD. Like, they promised that. Like, it's time for
Call of Duty is big. And that's what I was going to say. Like, I could see Final Fantasy VII doesn't count because that's a huge deal for so many people.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think you could say that about
What do you
those
mean it
big...
doesn't count? That counts.
No, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase.
I know what
It doesn't count as an old game. Right? Final Fantasy VII Remake came out, what, 5 years ago?
Yes.
Right? That would be an old game. But, like, that doesn't count because it's Final Fantasy VII. You could say the same thing about, like, GTA 5. Like, they don't count as old games to most people.
Let me ask you
That's
this,
not what
Donnie.
the question was. The question was, what third-party games do you think will be included in the NS2 Direct?
I know. Did you hear me?
Yeah.
I said I don't think they want to put a bunch of old games in it. I think they want to have a bunch of new games.
Let me add this caveat in it. What if they show Final Fantasy VII Remake, and then they say this is going to be out day one with Switch 2, with the next one coming out, which is Integrate,
Yeah, of course. I think we could see that.
in December.
And if you let me piggyback off of you, another one that I think we could definitely see, Death Stranding and Death Stranding 2.
Yes. Death Stranding 2 out now on Switch.
I could see that being a thing. Yeah. I think Resident Evil 4 Remake could be one.
Yes.
A lot of it depends on the Switch release date.
I think all those Resident Evil games are coming. I think they're all coming. I think 7's coming. I think 8's. I think Capcom is going to bring every Resident Evil game to Switch 2. But like, which one would they put in the direct? I think it would be 4.
Yes.
Yes, it would be 4, and I think Monster Hunters, because that's
Great
a super
pick.
seller for Japan. I just stole
Great
that off
pick.
of XBS.
Yes.
That's not an original thought.
Oh yeah, well, Monster Hunter is a great pick. Those are the certain
I think
things
that's
that I'm
guaranteed.
expecting,
Guaranteed.
and I do think we'll get some selected, like third-party Western games. And I do wonder what Xbox could be there with, like with an Activision. Could it be Call of Duty? Could they pop this? There's several rumors with Xbox right now about Halo going third party or Gears. Like, could you save that for the Switch 2 Direct? That could be big news.
I think Halo would be the one that they should do.
So I think we'll see a couple things like that. EA, like having an EA something or another in there. The Star Wars games, perhaps. I think having EA there is important. Just having them show up and be there would do a lot for them. Maybe Dragon Age. The one I want it to be is football. Like, I'd like to see Madden or NCAA, but like Dragon Age or Star Wars, those are bigger brands. And that's what I'm expecting from the Switch 2 Direct. I'm expecting big tentpole third-party support. Not like, I guess the difference I'm trying to say is not like Skyrim. Right. Like Skyrim was for Switch. That was a big deal for Switch because it was Skyrim on Nintendo. But like Skyrim was ancient by that point. I'm not expecting us to get 10-year-old game announcements in Switch 2's Direct.
How about this one then? Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Phantom Liberty.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Cyberpunk is the best game to show off DLSS. And they've worked with NVIDIA a ton. So I absolutely think Cyberpunk's coming to Switch 2, and I could see that being like that
that
game.
They show like,
Yeah.
oh, this looks beautiful on Switch 2.
And the crazy thing, I've brought that up before. The crazy thing about Cyberpunk is how well it scales. For a game that was like so broken when it released, it scales to portables extremely well.
Yes, it does.
It really does. They've put a lot of work. It's good on Steam Deck. It's good on the Allies and stuff. So I think that's a really good game to show off.
It looks beautiful on Steam Deck too. Like, oh, this is great.
So I would expect the Direct to lean heavy first party, and then I do expect we'll get a cherry pick of third party game support. And I think it's going to be more of I think what we're going to get are like big franchises, big IPs, and then after the Direct, lots of developers coming out with announcements of all of these ports and games they're bringing.
I think that's what it'll be. Or we'll see like a lot of that we see like 2 seconds of it in like a trailer, and then like we know that it's coming, but then we don't really hear news about it until a little bit more down the road.
I keep thinking of games that like we haven't seen announced yet. It's so easy with the Switch because I feel like we've been conditioned for ports to show up later, so we're always thinking of games that are already out that could be ported over. Doom, Skyrim, things like that. I keep thinking like, what are the new games though? Like, could Battlefield be at the Switch 2 Direct? Like the new Battlefield game that's coming out. Could they talk about that? Could Capcom show a new Resident Evil game? Like, I think Capcom is about to announce a new Resident Evil game this year to come out maybe next year. There's got to be a game that they're going to have that's brand new, never been announced before.
Yeah.
You know, like, what are those games?
Resident Evil 8, baby.
So
I'm always just so hesitant that it's like it comes to Switch later. Like that's always kind of.
And I think Nintendo wants to maybe step into that and go, no. That's why I keep coming back to to Metal Gear Remake. Metal Gear 3 Remake is not out yet. It comes out this summer. That is a game that they could put in the trailer and be like, no. You don't have to wait for Metal Gear. It's day one.
Yeah.
Day one on Switch. You know, stuff like that. That's where my head is.
Mm-hmm. Kyle the Pug.
Fuck you, Kyle the Pug.
Nice.
Asks us, what is your prediction for the Switch 2's actual release date?
Ooh.
Because we've said about the month or so that we think.
Yeah.
Like May, June-ish, right?
June 13th.
I was literally just about to say that. And you want to know something that's really awesome?
What? With twins? Synergy?
It's my last day of work for the school year.
Oh, that's great. Twinning.
Which means I can't take off that day. I hope it's the 20th. I think it'll be 13th or 20th. Or are they doing Thursdays now? Will it be June 12th? Or
I'm trying to figure out what day of the week I want to pick. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
That's what I was looking at real quick. I looked at
Like, what day of the week?
It used to be Fridays, but now they're putting up games on Thursdays. So will the console
Could be a weird ass Tuesday. Like, here you go.
You know Nintendo would do some shit like that. Like,
Here, Tuesday night. Come get your Switch 2.
man, it just feels better to do it on a Friday, doesn't it?
It does.
All right, I'm going to go June 27th.
Okay, I like it.
Oh, that's so late.
It gives them time to have their June Direct ahead of it.
Yeah. What, do you think they would have 2 directs before it comes out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Okay. For the Juneteenth weekend, says Jules. Nintendo don't care about Juneteenth. That's not their country.
That'd be wild. I'd love it, though.
Yeah.
The MLK edition
Spoilers.
puts them in Mario Kart. You know, like, that'd be
Yes.
fucking amazing.
Spoilers.
No. It's Mario Kart X, the Malcolm X edition. You see Mario on the thing and it says "by any means necessary." Luigi Death Stare. I could do this for
feel
days.
like
Luigi Death
Elon
Stare with the
Musk
hat
has
on.
ruined
I could do this
letter
for
X.
days.
Can I say that? I feel like he's ruined the letter X, and now if it's Mario Kart X, it's ruined.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's fair. You know, he's been like weirdly obsessed with that for like decades, too. Do you know that?
You want to know why?
I would. Yeah, why? Why is that?
It's the closest letter to a certain symbol.
Oh, that's awful. Yeah, probably true. He tried to
That's
get
what people are
PayPal to
saying.
change their name to X. Like this dude has just been like out here trying to make an X company forever.
I don't know why. He's such a weirdo.
Also,
Super weird.
can we just highlight Yarden's message real quick? What's Rebecca's first day back to work? That's the day it comes out. Yeah, that's actually what's going to happen.
That's a good guess.
It'll be like
Highlight.
August, not last week, August 29th or whatever. That'll be the day it comes out.
Yeah, that might be accurate. They would pull that shit. Like, all right, see all these kids going back to school. Let's release it now.
Kyle brings up a good point. He says MKX sounds way too much like Mortal Kombat X.
It does.
Yeah. It's true.
Good game.
Kyle has a second follow-up question. If something major breaking news happens in the middle of the night for you to record Shaq at that time, do you really think I would wake up at those hours because I fall asleep like a bear until the next day?
Yes.
Yes.
He forgets that he's 3 hours behind us. So if it's in the middle of the night for us,
Yes, I agree.
like probably like 11 p.m. for him.
If Nintendo announced a Zelda Direct to happen at 3 a.m. in the morning, we
up.
would be there, and so would Kyle.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Knowing my luck, it'll be right after we finish recording PSVG.
we just roll right into the
Just
next one.
roll right into it.
You might as well stay up. Better brew that coffee, Delvin.
Yeah.
It
It took
worked
your
out
brother
in our
this
favor,
goddamn
though.
long XPS. you know, he might be the bad guy. No shit.
Our last question comes from Captain Awesome, who says, I had a question. I don't know if you guys saw that Final Fantasy is in trouble because it didn't sell well. Is that
I hadn't
true?
seen that. I
didn't see that. That's
How
alarming.
could Final Fantasy ever be in trouble?
Well, it
There's
is
like
Square Enix.
15 million of them.
It is Square Enix. Square Enix be fucking up.
Really?
These are the same people who are like, Tomb Raider made all this money, but we lost a profit on it. Like, what are you talking about? How is that possible?
It's because they sold that game for like $10 for a long time.
Yeah. How do you fuck up Tomb Raider?
Yeah, that was bad.
I didn't know Final Fantasy was in trouble.
What do we mean by in trouble?
Not profitable.
Yes.
I'm going to Google it.
I am too now.
Okay, so this comes from Polygon. Final Fantasy is trouble. Does Metaphor ReFantazio show it the way? Speaking of a game that could be in that direct. Metaphor.
That's a good
I
one.
could see that one. Yeah, that could be there. And this is nothing but words, lots of words and paragraphs, so I'm not going to.
Yeah, I
try to
see a
read
lot
that.
of different takes on it. So I don't know.
I don't think. With
see you.
me, just based on vibes alone, I'm going to say it's not really in trouble.
I will say this. The hype for Rebirth was definitely down than the hype for the 7 remake. It petered off a little bit.
For sure. I think a part of that is why we've seen Square Enix reverse trend and go away from exclusivity with those.
Also, I think part of that is they released too much Final Fantasy stuff at Final Fantasy 7 stuff in particular at one time. You had 7 remake, then you had Integrate, then
And
you
I think
had
it's confusing for people who like aren't really like in the know for Final Fantasy. Like that's not a game that like people who aren't already like into it are just gonna like pick up. You know what I mean?
Okay, here we go. Final Fantasy 16. And so this isn't the 7 stuff. Hits 3.5 million copies sold, indicating stalled sales after strong launch.
But this goes back to what I was saying. There's too much Final Fantasy stuff at one time.
During its latest financial results briefing, Square Enix president told investors that 16 sold over 3.5 million copies globally since its launch in 2023. Yeah, I mean, that seems low.
That is low. That is low.
Yeah.
But they should have spaced out 16 a lot further.
I think a lot of people are expecting a lot of Final Fantasy to Switch 2 stuff. I mean, everybody's focused on 7, but why not 16?
I didn't even. I like Final Fantasy a lot, and I didn't even play 16
I've heard that from a lot of people.
because I'm like, I got 2 other games to play.
The
They
reason
came out
that
so
I
close-
say that,
3.
being the Final Fantasy hater, I've had so many Final Fantasy people tell me, Donnie, you have to play 16. They're like, this is the one for you. The person who doesn't like Final Fantasy games, because that seems to be the take, is that Final Fantasy 16 like isn't what the core fan base want. You know,
And I
everybody,
love
all of our
15.
Discord folks and the Twitter folks, they always tell me that 16 is like Devil May Cry.
I have not played it yet. Maybe I need to play that this year.
And as I say Devil May Cry, I realize it's been a while since we've got one of those. That could be a new game that could show up.
Thought I did read something about that coming up.
Did you?
Or was that the show?
I don't know. I could see an announcement for a new Devil May Cry game coming out in the next year or two. I keep trying to predict like what could be there. Like I think Resident Evil's probably ready to talk. I could see Devil May Cry, your Dino Crisis thing. These are all things that are out there percolating. Like they probably exist, but have yet to be announced.
Ryan thinks you'll really like the game. He has it all in caps.
Every Final Fantasy person I've made fun of, they've all told me that. Every one of them. Maybe one day, Ryan. Probably not. Maybe one day. Bring it to Switch 2. Yeah, XPS says it is like Devil May Cry. I fantasy Devil May Cry. I love Devil May Cry. So maybe I will like it. Oh, man. See, that's why I can't play it, Ryan. I can't possibly come to the podcast and be like, guys, after all these years, I like a Final Fantasy game. Like, I can't do it.
You can. I wouldn't judge you for that.
I can't do it, Delvin.
I wouldn't judge you for that. I never knock people for liking a game that they didn't like it once.
Maybe it'll turn me around. Maybe
I didn't like.
Maybe I'll love everything else. I'll become a Tifa fan.
Well, you should be a Tifa fan regardless.
Crazy thing. Crazy world we live in.
Mm-hmm.
I know people don't know what a Final Fantasy is that are Tifa fans. Like, she's in a game?
That was our last question.
Boo, I've had so much fun hanging out with you guys.
Better than
You guys should-
tornadoes, right?
It is. Yeah, it was a long night.
That should be our tagline.
We're better
Shaq.
than tornadoes.
Better than tornadoes. Yeah, we don't get questions when the show ends. So listen to that, folks.
Well, that's okay.
Ask
It's
more
so
questions.
funny how like when we have a lot of news, we like get like a reasonable amount of questions, but then like when
We have
there's
no news.
we get
40
tons of questions. It's great. It's perfect, actually.
And we
Yeah, they
still
come
go
through for us.
And we still go for 2 hours.
It's because I beg when we don't have any news. I'm like, all right, guys, if you don't ask us any questions, the show's going to be 30 minutes.
It's okay. We have plenty to talk about with The Last of Us and
Yes.
Barbie
Tornadoes.
movie and tornadoes.
Yes.
Ryan Gosling, Hugh Grant's life here in 2025.
Yeah.
Well, I've enjoyed hanging with you guys today. It's been
I
a
did too.
nice reprieve from the last 12 hours. So thank you.
Very glad. And it sounds like you needed this too, Delvin, after a tough week.
Yes, it did.
Good. Let's do it again next week.
It's a date.
Yeah.
Sounds good. And maybe I'll actually play a Nintendo game. I am getting back into games, so it's looking good.
Nah, you got to get that Last of Us going. I want to hear all
Oh,
about
I'm
it.
gonna keep playing that. That's
But you can't stop. You got to get to 2.
I will. Yeah.
You have 50 hours of Last of Us ahead of you. You're just going to be a broken, emotionally numb mess by the time you reach the
Yes.
end.
Pretty much.
Sensory deprived.
All right, Koopalings. That is gonna do it. Have a good week, and we will see you next time.
Peace.
Whenever you're ready.
All right. This is Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening. And I forgot the line already. What?